So for the past couple months that we've been on the road, we've stayed at some pretty incredible places. However, today we're staying in a parking lot. And not just any parking lot, but a parking lot inside Chicago. Now, Chicago's not known for being the safest place.
Hoping for a new ride, but robbed instead. Pattern of armed robberies.
It's like it's the Wild West. I mean, it's very scary.
Murders here in Chicago spiked by more than 37%. Arson in Chicago up even more.
These streets are home to some of the most dangerous gangs in America.
We're met by muggers wearing ski masks near the park.
So this week we're gonna have a look into how we stay safe on the road. Now we're not gonna tell you all our safety measures because there might be criminals watching.
If you're a criminal, subscribe though. We're Scott and Ash, and these are our dogs Tank and Toffee. And for the past 3 months, we've been traveling all across the country in our self-converted school bus turned tiny home. We just left our friend's property in northern Wisconsin after helping out with a few projects on their new A-frame renovation. We have now found ourselves back in one of our absolute favorite cities, Chicago.
Okay, so this might not be considered a safety feature, but it's something that gives us peace of mind. And that is since we have water on board, we have a 100-gallon water tank under our bed. One thing that gives us that peace of mind is leak detectors. Leaks is something that we have had problems with in the past. Right here, we got this little leak. And I'm so grateful that we had these leak detectors, or else we might have had leaks under our bed, or we might get them in places that we might not necessarily check, but the leak detectors let us know that there's a leak, so then we can address the issue, make sure we can clean it up so there's no mold, and then also that we don't just get everything soaked in water. So one other safety feature that was really important to us when building was fire prevention. This guy right here is actually a self-starting fire extinguisher. If this thing touches flames for 2 to 3 seconds, it actually explodes with a powder that will actually suffocate the flame. So we actually have a lot of these all throughout the bus. We have 2 of the decorative ones, one up front, one up back in our bedroom, and then we also have ones in our electrical closet next to our diesel heater, and one even in the engine bay. We also have regular fire extinguishers, one located up front of the bus, one located at the back of the bus, just for that extra protection. And talking about fire, we also have smoke alarms, we also have carbon monoxide detectors, and we also have propane detectors. Since we have propane on board, we have our stove and our hot water heater off propane. I always get a kind of fear as we're going down the road that the pipes are shaking and stuff like that. I mean, every time we take the bus out, it's going through a mini earthquake.
Whoa! Whoa!
Bumpy roads for sure. And so it's nice just having those detectors just in case anything does come undone, anything comes loose, that we can detect that gas. But one thing to note is that propane doesn't set off a carbon monoxide detector. You actually have to get an all-in-one detector, or you can get separate ones. We have a propane detector next to where we have our propane lines, and we also have carbon monoxide and smoke detectors in separate areas of the bus as well.
Okay, so when it comes to safety in the bus, one of the biggest things for us is actually where we park. Also, is anyone else like me and you prefer to sit down on the toilet to get ready for the day? So for us, we use a ton of different apps to kind of search through our parking. When it comes to parking in a big city like Chicago though, there's not a lot of options on like Harvest Host and Boondockers Welcome, Hip Camp, stuff like that. The last time we were in Chicago, we stayed about an hour outside of the city at a campground. This time we want to be closer to the city, closer to the action, and somewhere really safe. So what we did is we asked our friends who are from the area, hey, what's a really safe area to be? We called around to some local churches in that area, looked at their parking situation on satellite maps, called around until we got a yes. And we got a yes from an epic spot. We're right near the city, and it worked out great. So even though we're just on the outskirts of the city, the neighborhood and church parking lot that we're at is actually really, really nice. The whole area is very bougie, very fancy. We looked up all the homes on Zillow and it's just a really nice area. Beautiful place to walk the dogs, gorgeous neighborhood, and we just feel really, really safe here. So yeah, with the other apps that we use, one of the big ways to just feel safe and know that we're safe for parking is reading the reviews. On Campendium, Harvest Host, iOverlander, all those places, you can read reviews of past guest stay, and that lets you know a good feel if it's sketchy or not. But now it's time to finish getting ready so we can hit the city.
System is arming.
So we always lock up and set our alarm as soon as we get ready to leave because it notifies us if there's any disturbances, notifies local authorities if there is an actual disturbance. So it's all around just something that makes us feel a lot better, gives us peace of mind. And then of course we have our blink cam. It monitors any motion out here, lets us know if someone is trying to hit us up and come to our crib.
Okay, so we are on our way into the city, and as you guys know, we have a separate vehicle. We drive our Jeep, which is super nice for things like this, like going into the city, not having to take the bus.
Nice.
But from a safety point, we always like having a separate vehicle that is easy access. Just that way, if ever there's an emergency and we have to get somewhere fast, whether it be for the dogs and we have to take them to a vet, something happens to us, it's nice that we can just jump in a vehicle and drive somewhere, as opposed to having to take the bus or rely on other people like Ubers or even emergency services. Like, we have that action of being able to just jump in and go whenever we want.
Tank, do you like the Jeep? So we just got to Navy Pier with the dogs and we're grabbing a bite to eat out here. It's a beautiful day, but one thing that we really love about our Wise Cam and our security cam setup is literally anywhere we are, we can just get on our phone, check it, make sure everything's looking good while we enjoy our food. I mean, what more could you ask for?
Let's go.
Did you have a fun time in the city? Yeah.
Okay, so we dropped the dogs back off the bus and we're headed back into the city, and now we're about to check out the Nutella Cafe.
So as we mentioned, we dropped the dogs off earlier. They were absolutely exhausted from walking around the city today, but what we love is being able to check our Waggle. So Waggle is a pet monitor that tells us the temperature of the bus. If it goes outside of our range, it alerts us. It lets us know if there's any power losses or anything like that. So we have the Wise Cam, and then we also have the Waggle. It keeps the dog safe, keeps our peace of mind going. I'm so excited. So we just got back from the city, had the best time ever. We're gonna walk the dogs, but one thing that we love having on the bus is we have security lights on each side. So on the driver's side, the front, the other side, and it just helps us feel extra safe when we're even parked in a parking lot or in the middle of nowhere, like on a farm in Iowa. Having these lights is a big win for us.
One other thing we do when we're walking the dogs is we carry our burner, which is a non-lethal device that basically has pepper pellets in it. This is great in the country where we've been in places where there's been sights of coyotes and bears, but also in parking lots when, you know, some people might get up to some mischief.
Yeah, let's go home. They love going home.
Okay, we're about to call it for tonight, but before we get into bed, I want to tell you about one of our best safety features is these guys! Come on! Come on!
These guys are our first line of safety every single time. They alert us of absolutely every sound. They hear all the sounds even before we do, and they are just the cutest safety measures ever.
We hope that you found this video useful. If you guys are living on the road or just traveling in general, these might be great tips to have. We'll put all the products that we talked about below in our description, and so if you want to check those out, feel free to do so. But until then, we're going to go to bed, and we'll be back next week.
Bye!